Good to see you, Andy. I see you've done the goatee. Seems to be COVID thing. So we're going to get started here.
Hi, David. I was muted.
That's quite all right. It's quite all right. I was going to see if Bob may just be listening. There are going to be some other.
Well, I'm here if you need me, but yeah, I'm just listening.
Okay, good. All right. So, yes, this is a climate concert. I have a whole album of climate and justice songs, and just put it out. So I'm going to start off talking a little bit about my journey, why I have a whole album of these songs and just one or two. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and talk a little bit about, how I came to be so involved with the environment. So yet another PowerPoint. And this includes a video that you may have seen, but it's worth watching again. And then the rest will be music. So in 2018, I heard Paul Hawken speak and read the Drawdown book from Project Drawdown. And it was a real eye-opener. I mean, I've been concerned about the environment since I saw An Inconvenient Truth. But this really caught me at a time where I'd retired from teaching and really decided that it's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. And that we can actually do this with what we have available now and get out of this crisis. And so I'm going to go ahead and play a video by Paul Hawken being interviewed that does a really good job in a nutshell of just this whole issue that got me started writing, not just about, how bad the situation is, but all the cool stuff out there that we can do.
If you Google the top 10 solutions to climate change, top 20, 30, 40, 50, you name a number, but the top ones, what you get are proverbs. It's kind of like be kind to your mother, eat smart, consume less, be efficient, move closer to work, use power strips at home. I mean, things that are definitely sensible, make total sense, but also give you a sense that we're screwed. Because the enormity of the problem, the challenge that exists, it makes you feel sort of hopeless, actually. Most of the solutions in the world that are being proffered to people are about people's beliefs, whether they're from experts or they're from activists or they're from institutes or NGOs. It's just our beliefs about what we need to do. And like any good proverb, they're true, but they don't actually come together in a way that gives us a sense that cumulatively together and with those solutions, we can actually reverse global warming. And the idea that we should aim for mitigation or reduction or stabilization is just crazy, because ppm right now of carbon dioxide parts per million is 402. Humans have never existed when it was over 300. So we're in terra nova. We're in a place right now that no human being of any sort of type, and certainly civilizational or not, has ever existed. So the science about what's going to happen, how fast it's going to happen, is actually speculative. It's good science, but it's speculative. And the idea that we should adapt, mitigate, reduce at this point at 402 is, to me, absurd. If you're going the wrong way, you have to stop. You just can't slow down and say, now we're not going the wrong way. You still are going the wrong way. And that's why I say right now the proposals around addressing global warming are like Thelma and Louise in slow motion. We're just going right over the cliff, but we want to go slower. And that is not an inspirational goal for humankind. The only goal that makes sense for humanity is to reverse global warming. It's to stop, turn around, and go the other way. And I don't believe that you can achieve something if you don't name what it is you want to achieve. And naming the goal of reversal actually opens up possibility. There's this idea that somehow if we make our goals too big, that it's too hard. It's the other way around. The bigger you make your goal, the more spaciousness there is in your mind, and creativity, imagination soars within a big goal. It doesn't get very far when the goal is really tiny and minuscule. Drawdown is the point in time when greenhouse gases peak and begin to go down on a year-to-year basis. At least that's what it means in respect to climate. You can't achieve drawdown unless you bring carbon back home, because we're way past the point in the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere that would lead to a stabilized planet or stabilized weather systems. That's gone. So drawdown depends on bringing carbon back home. There's only one way we know how to do it, and it happens every year, and that is through photosynthesis. And if you look at NASA maps of carbon dioxide emissions span of a year, what you see is that every year, actually, we do draw down 6 to 7 ppm. So it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. The problem is it doesn't go down to where it was before, and so there is a slow incremental increase of CO2 and greenhouse gases. So it's really about that equilibration, getting to that point where we bring back every year, over the course of a year, the same amount that we're emitting, and then bringing back a little more, and that point's drawdown. And that is a very doable thing. And the way we face it, the way we looked at it, is as if it's almost an impossible task, and it's the other way around. The solutions surround us and around us all the time. The IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, is the most magnificent and greatest scientific endeavor in the history of humankind. There is no second or third place. Given that, you would think that we would know what to do cold. But actually the IPCC doesn't really work on solutions. They do have a third working group that is about solutions, and the one that came out 2 years ago was 2,017 pages long, and I don't think anybody I know read it, and it didn't become accessible in a way to people that they knew what to do as individuals, as communities, neighborhoods, cities, towns. It didn't make sense at all. It was science. So when we started Project Drawdown, we were working into a vacuum. What we did is map, measure, and model extant, existing, practical, hands-on, W.W. Granger, everybody can get them solutions or do them, and see what would happen if they continued to scale in a rigorous but reasonable way over 30 years, and whether or not we could achieve drawdown, which is that first point in time when greenhouse gases decline. And we just began a process of mapping and measuring and modeling them. But first we had to cull them and collate them and look at them all. We looked at hundreds of solutions and started to, in a sense, measure their impact. Either they have an impact in terms of reducing the amount of carbon, CO2, or greenhouse gases that are going up, or they actually bring carbon dioxide back home. They sequester carbon. And we obviously were interested in both. And in that process, we only used peer-reviewed literature to measure the carbon impact. We didn't use anecdotes or stories or narratives. And on the economic side, the same thing. We modeled both the impact and the cost and the savings. It's a very complex model because every solution impacts every other solution in some way. It's one system, it's one Earth. And when the solutions came out, we were shocked. With the top solutions, we were like, no, you're kidding. And we didn't even see it coming, actually. You would imagine, or at least I think most people imagine, that the top solutions would be solar and wind and electric vehicles, don't cut trees and stop eating beef, and, and there's some truth to that, but not as much as you think. The top solution is actually refrigerant management, which is so prosaic, but the hydrofluorocarbons used in air conditioners and refrigerators are thousands of times more powerful in their greenhouse warming potential as our CO2 gases. And so a small release of those has a much, much bigger impact. And the second one was onshore wind, which I think not unexpected or not surprising. The third one, biggest solution, is reduce food waste. And that surprised us. And when you think about it, we use 10 calories for every calorie we eat. We have an extraordinary agricultural system in terms of how much energy it uses and wastes. It's not just the production of the food, it's the cold chains, it's the trucking, it's the stores, it's the grab and go cases, it's like driving to the store, it's going back home, it's the packaging, it's the plastic. Our food system is very energy intensive. And then that food goes into landfills, and that landfills are anaerobic and they produce methane gas, which is 25 times more powerful than CO2 in terms of its greenhouse warming potential. So food is critical. And then right next to that, at number 4, is actually plant-rich diet. It's not vegan or vegetarian. You may, that's fine. But it's a reduced meat diet for sure, to the level where actually it's healthy. And then number 5 is protecting and restoring tropical forests. Number 6 is educating girls. It's the girl effect. It's been talked about much. And if she goes beyond 10th grade, she becomes a woman more on her terms. She's educated. Her choices, her reproductive choices change. They earn more money and put the resources into fewer children. So they're now on a cycle of well-being, so to speak. And the number 7 solution is family planning. Those two combined, if you put them together, are the number 1 solution to global warming, which is empowering girls and women. And all I can say to that is, who knew? It's not a solar panel, it's a woman. And when you really let that go in, you think about it and say, well, yeah, I mean, it can't be a thing. They have this idea that somehow this inanimate object is going to save our behinds, and no, it's not. We need that inanimate object. It's beautiful, but we're going to save ourselves. And it's not surprising when you look at it that girls and women came out number 1 when you think about it. If you're a game changer, what you will want to look at is all 100 solutions. And one of the mistakes we make is by looking for constantly the top solutions and focusing on the top solutions. If you look at Drawdown, we have 80 solutions we measured and modeled, and 20 more which are so new you can't model them. But so let's just stick to the 80 for a minute. Those 80, some of them in the 60s and 70s, have a relatively small impact compared to the top 7 or top 10 solutions. But you cannot achieve drawdown, you cannot achieve reversal of global warming unless you do them all. So there is no small solution. That's the point. We need all of it, and we need to honor all of each other. And so when somebody looks at that list, it's what resonates with them. Everybody could probably resonate with food waste, just unconsciousness about purchasing, consumption. Okay, so where do they make sense to you? Where do they make sense to your community? Where do they make sense to your village or to your town or to your company or to your city or to your state or your province or your farm or your grassland or your cows? It depends on who you are, where you are, your culture. And in that way, you know what it is going to be where you can actually make a difference and accelerate the uptake of a given practice or technique or technology, rather than saying, therefore, you should do this. I don't have no idea what anybody should do. I know that people know what they should do when they read and understand something that makes sense to them.
Okay, a few quick announcements before we start the music. Real excited to announce that the Earth Festival 21 is coming up on the 17th and 18th of this month. And on the 17th, Saturday, I'm going to be doing a couple of presentations, one on Climate Solution Supercharge and the other on carbon footprint eating. The other is that I don't have the artwork finished or the CD packaging, but I do have the final audio done on my new album, Count Me In. I'll be playing songs from that album tonight, and that's available on Bandcamp. Okay. Yeah, that's not working. I have to go here. Yay. And let's see if I can spotlight. All right, let's get some music going. So sometimes I think we forget that when we're asking someone to, really step up and make the world a better place, that's really a big ask. So that kind of is what I was thinking of with this song. Count Me In. Say if I'm not angry, not paying attention, I say it's just a waste of time. Say if I'm not scared, I've got my head in the sand. Well, I know it looks bad, but I'm feeling fine. I'm okay with joining your revolution. It's just one thing I need, that decision. You gotta promise me good music, and as long as I can dance, you can count me in. Count me in. You want me to hold that sign right out on the street, write my congresswoman and chant that slogan. I'll march if you don't mind me singing, we shall overcome. And if you don't mind me doing a little token, I'm okay with joining your revolution. It's just one thing I need, that decision. You gotta promise me good music, and as long as I can dance, you can count me in. Count me in. Count me in. Count me in. You can count me in. Count me in. And welcome Kathy and Donna's tuning in on YouTube. Wonderful. All right. So this next song, there's a lot of talk about part of the problem isn't just so much the way we get our energy, but the whole dream of the modern world. And so this is called Wake the Dreamer. Wake the dreamer, wake the dreamer. They are counting on you to be a sleeper. Oh, wake the dreamer. Well, they say use up this year's model, then you throw it away. Now we know there's a hidden cost. They profit from finding better, hiding a better way. Dream stronger is better, like boys playing king of the hill. Like destiny's domination, bend all life to your will. Oh, the first step is letting in the pain of the world. Go ahead and let yourself cry. How many times can someone look away and pretend and have no eyes? Wake the dreamer, wake the dreamer. They're counting on you to be a sleeper. Oh, wake the dreamer. Oh, the next step is turning off the movie we're in, where the wealthy deserve what they get, and men are always the heroes. First destruction, then a nice sunset. Oh, I know it can seem like there's nothing left, but that's where possibility starts. Our life is one big community. We all return to the same heart. There are places where wisdom still survives, untouched by factories. We can learn to help each other, change the course of history. Wake the dreamer, wake the dreamer. They're counting on you to be a sleeper. Oh, wake the dreamer. This sounds out of tune. It's gotta stay in tune for me. All right. So one of the things that people that are working on the climate crisis are discovering is that you can look at climate crisis as something that's happening to us, and it's really bad and we're born at the wrong time and all, but maybe it's happening for us, and it's actually an opportunity to be born at a time where you can actually be involved with building a better world. So this is called the Great Work. Now that we know what we've done, we can build a world we want to become. Yes, we're running out of time, but it's the great work of our time. It's the great work of our time. The great work of our time. Extraction, exploitation, and monopoly built fine mansions in the land of the free. Slavery's been replaced by poverty. Chains were forged right on TV of our time. Can we break those chains in time? It's the great work of our time. Some are not waiting for the voting booth. They are acting on data, not debating truth. Around the world, folks like you and me are turning this ship's wheel just a few degrees at a time. your hope that comes from doing good in your time. It's a great work of our time. Great work of our time. Great work of our time. Lutz has joined us. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Harry. Crowd goes wild. I'm gonna have to get that for our song circle. You got it. Okay. Next up. All right. So now we have an award-winning song that is for adults about composting, which is one of the solutions to reversing global warming. But it's cleverly disguised as a children's song. Hardest working creature that you'll ever meet is the one making tunnels under your feet. His task is mighty despite his size. He's a decomposer in disguise. I like worms. I like worms. There's a mystery underground where colonies toil. They eat anything rotten and it comes out soil. They don't sting or make a sound. They've no eyes for you till you're in the ground. I like worms. I like worms. Worms make the world go round. Make me want to kiss the ground. Yuck. I like worms. I like worms. So I brought them in my kitchen, and that's no lie. All my food scraps go in their bin, where that stuff dies. In the landfill it would stink, I fear, and add nothing to the atmosphere. I like worms. I like worms. In my bin all those veggie scraps just disappear. I open the lid to my compost. I feel like a pioneer. Coffee grounds, broccoli, leaves and leeks, but it smells like a forest and a creek. I like worms. I like worms. Worms make the world go round. Make me want to kiss the ground. Not really. I like worms. I like worms. I like worms. I'm still working on getting June a worm bin. I have 5 now, ready to have someone adopt and put in their kitchen. And I'm worm sitting for Karen, who's going to be gone for a while, because she didn't want to just leave her worms, of course. Okay. So this next song is a true story about a young girl from an article by Hannah Beach. Let's see if I can do this finger picking thing. So glad you all showed up. It's called Tethered to a Rising Sea. An the yellow dreams that the rising sea creeps through the slats in her bed. Salty and black and deathly cold, her island of hope filled with dread. Her Philippines island is 6 feet tall, water ankle deep fills the room. And it chews on the legs of her tables and chairs, pulled by the cold-hearted moon. We are married to this island of life. We have everything we need. We have our boats, we have the ocean. We are tethered to this rising sea. We are tethered to this rising sea. By day she plays in the mangrove tree, looks for boats out on the blue. She tethers her doll and her favorite stool so they don't wash away from view. She carries the rainwater back to her house. She doesn't breathe through her nose. The mildew is strong and the sewer's gone wrong. It will only get worse, she knows. We are married to this island life. We have everything we need. We have our boats, we have the ocean. We are tethered to this rising sea. We are tethered to this rising sea. Her school moved into the attic. Her teacher is not very tall. It is dry and really quite cozy, but her father would have to crawl. They were told to move to a place on a hill, join the farmers there if they wished. But the town said, we are fisher folk, we will stay right here and fish. For we are married to this island life. We have everything we need. We have our boats, we have the ocean. We are tethered to this rising sea. We are tethered to this rising sea. This rising sea. This rising sea. This rising sea. Okay. Ooh. All right. Some of you know in my songwriting, I played a lot of short songs. Once in a while, I just have to break out. And this is a parable for our time. Harry, give me a thumbs up if the sound is okay. Oh, okay. All right. So this one is called Smoke and the Joshua Tree. This is my world now, your reign is done, said Smoke to the Joshua Tree. You can't escape, I am everywhere. It's time for you all now to take your leave. The traitor wind and the prankster sun do my dirty work for free. will all become grave diggers. Just you wait and see. I am no soothsayer with hopes of doom, just an archer aiming at your soft heart. I'm just here to see your terror as the unraveling starts. Joshua tree breathed in ancient carbon, blue oxygen right in smoke's face. Smoke, well, aren't you the proud one? We are just starting this human race. Have you forgotten I too am everywhere? Not just a single tree. Life is forging your shackles, yet you pretend to be free. Guardians of taking off your mask, they are taking aim at your black heart. I can hear your subtle edge of terror as the rewilding starts. Smoke said I have seen the coming sacrifice, a gray shell hiding all below. A red-hot knife showing no mercy. Species come and then they go. The Joshua tree laughed and began to call the birds and beasts to gather round. Carnivores of old time joined the chorus, lost creatures soon to be found. Stars ring like freedom bells, mushrooms bloomed everywhere. Corals painted the ocean floor, dolphins spun in the air. Smoke struggled in the coffin of his anger, said there's one creature you'll never bring to heal. He loves his cars, his parking lots and towers, blast off from the weather he can't feel. The Joshua tree parted the veil of time, showed a village planting hillsides with trees. A city highway full of bikes and scooters, nature set loose, rolling wild and free. He sang the rewilding stars, the rewilding stars, the rewilding stars, the rewilding stars. Listen to the Joshua tree, listen to the Joshua tree. Listen, just listen. Listen, just listen. Listen to the Joshua tree. Listen to the Joshua tree. Listen to the Joshua tree. So one of the things that happened in 2020 was that I've had some past health issues and was sheltering at home the whole time. And I really wished I could get out on some of the street protests and support them. So I decided, well, since I can't get out, maybe I should write a song. It's called Walk in the World. Sometimes you just had enough. You have to take to the streets. There you'll find the kind of people that you need to meet. You can't lock any doors around situation just to counter the hate and walk in the world. It's okay to post your opinion, hit that donate button each time. Petitions don't make the 6 o'clock news like our bodies on the line. Go with friends, make new friends, let the spirit move your heart. Voices raised as one is where all the changes start. So walk in the world. Walk in the world. Walk in the world. If you've had enough, walk in the world. Bring up photos of the civil rights movement. Those shots are all outdoors. Gay pride fills the city streets, not some safer place indoors. Sing if you can muster a labor song or two. The powers that be ignore us till they see a multitude that walks in the world. Walk in the world. Walk in the world. If you've had enough, walk in the world. The week before George W. wrapped to Baghdad in death and fire, I was out at a demonstration with a burning disbelief and ire. We few practice nonviolent civil disobedience once more, but even those who prayed for peace chose to stay indoors. But we walked in the world. Walk in the world. Walk in the world. If you've had enough, walk in the world. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Walk in the world. Walk in the world. If you've had enough, walk in the world. You know, even people that are really working hard on the environment aren't aware that in many indigenous communities, before a big decision is made, they look at, will this change be good for the 7th generation down the line? And if it's not, then they don't act on it. So, you know, we have a lot of discussion about all that is wrong. And yet there are so many people doing the right thing, and nobody thinks to thank them. So that's what this song does. Thank you for serving a plant-based meal, no meat or fish or cheese. Cook it up savory or spicy, I'm sure that it will please. And the sons and daughters thank you, the great-great-grandkids too. The 7th generation thanks you for doing what you do. Thank you for protesting that pipeline, for putting your life on the line, for saving Mother Earth's water and praying for a better time. And the sons and daughters thank you, the great-great-grandkids too. The 7th generation thanks you for doing what you do. Thank you for your Friday climate strike, for a future that is green. you're still a teen. And the sons and daughters thank you, great great grandkids too. The seventh generation thanks you for doing what you do. Thank you for using LEDs instead of incandescent lights. I know you're just saving money, but our future will be bright. And the sons and daughters thank you, great great grandkids too. The seventh generation thanks you for doing what you do. Thank you for using your bicycle instead of using your car. You save so much energy when you really don't travel that far. And the sons and daughters thank you, the great great grandkids too. The seventh generation thanks you for doing what you do. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to the song. Even if you're just getting started, thank you for singing along. Sons and daughters, thank you. Great, 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 great grandkids too. The seventh generation, thank you for doing what you do. For doing what you do. So that song could have like 80 verses. Thought about putting it out there, just having people add their own verse. I'm going to do a couple of songs that were on previous CDs that I've pulled into this collection. And really, one of the things that is occurring to people that start working on the environment is we can't just do this by doing a good job in America. That this is a worldwide effort. And we're going to have to work across borders. We're going to have to hold hands and work together. This is called For This World. No one looks a stranger dressed in a smile, though to learn their ways takes a little while. There's a gospel in shaking hands, building bridges across different lands. For this world we all love, for this world Milky Way above, for this world say a little prayer, for this world we all share. As the seas begin to rise and the ice paths melt away, we must simplify our lives, a lighter footprint every day. For this world we all love, for this world Milky Way above, for this world say a little prayer, for this world we all share. We all lift our eyes now and then, speak to someone unseen once again. When a bitter past lingers there, even a sigh becomes a prayer. For this world we all love, the nice things about a live stream is being in my own house, studio, is I don't have to lug around 3 guitars. Get my other guitar here. And this song was inspired by Al Gore's film, Inconvenient Truth. It's called The Earth Dreams. And on the new album, it's actually a live track in concert version of this. And the original artwork, I think I mentioned that I'm doing original artwork for all 14 songs. And I thought I was a little farther ahead than I was. Started counting them up, and I've got 6 more to go. So it may be a month before I have a CD package, and actually I have it on my website. But you can get it on Bandcamp. Which actually means you can get it on my website now, davidhaken.com. But the artwork for The Earth Dreams I used for the cover. I'm glad David Steele's tuning in. The earth dreams that she's a young maiden, cupping the seas in her hand, cradle for all of her children, who wander on water and land. In this dream, everything's perfect, all her creatures get along. The tides and the seasons, the hooting and calling, all echo the phrase of her song. All echo a phrase of her song. Tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra, tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra. But this balance so carefully woven is threatened by one angry child, the loudest and brightest with a voice divine, acting so mean and so wild. As the smoke fills the air and the ocean, and the forests are ground into towns, powerful know the sea is rising, but think only the poor will drown. Think only the poor will drown. Tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra, tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra. In this nightmare she sends them a warning, over and over again. But they race to the edge of the cliff now, as if they want all life to end. In this dream there's a sweet song that rises as more people understand. She wakes and this melody lingers, like a flood giving back to the land, like a flood giving back to the land. Tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra, tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra, tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra, tu-la-roo, tu-la-ra. Thank you, June. Yeah, if you guys have a favorite or ones you really like, put that in the chat. I haven't even turned the chat on here because I'm still thinking about the final order of the songs. I like to have 4 strong songs at the beginning of the CD order. So that's really good to know. Oh, thank you, Jen. Now, oh my gosh. Here we are with time for one more song. Also would love to have feedback on whether you enjoyed the Paul Hawken video at the beginning to kind of get a feel for what in the world I'm talking about in these songs, or whether that seemed too much. Stayed in tune for the whole hour. Yay. So I don't take this 50-year-old Martin 12-string out on the road with me when I tour. So it's been really nice to be able to use it for some of the live streaming. So I've always loved John Lennon's song, Imagine. And watching people in the audience singing along it, I'm going, I don't think they listen carefully to the lyrics because they are so radical. They just must like the music or something. But I love the way that song paints a picture of what our world could be like. And I thought, well, there should be a song about, what it will be like when we actually do reverse global warming. What will the world look like? Kind of like the film 2040. So this is called All Around the World. And you can stay muted and sing, or you can sing on YouTube. Designed to be an easy to sing along and put harmony on. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in. Now we know we're gonna do it. Bring that carbon down. More than we put each year up in the air. We're gonna change how we all get around to make the stuff we think we need. Find a way to make green jobs and trade that's fair. Life will regenerate all around the world. Spirits will thrive all around the world. There will be justice all around the world. For all species all around the world. All around the world. All around the world. We will be one family. All around the world. We'll work across borders. We'll plant way more trees and protect all the rainforest canopy. Food will be abundant and the soil rich with life. Since it's all organic, no labels will we need. Life will regenerate all around the world. Spirits will thrive all around the world. There will be justice all around the world. For all species all around the world. All around the world. All around the world. We will be one family. All around the world. As cities turn into neighborhoods, urban and solar farms, and all girls get the schooling they deserve, corporations' charters will change to benefit all, empowered to spread wealth and to serve. Life will regenerate all around the world. Spirits will thrive all around the world. There will be justice all around the world for all species all around the world. All around the world. All around the world. We will be one family all around the world. Thank you, Harry. That is so hysterical. That's going to be the new Zoom thing now.
Encore, encore.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, I want to plug the Earth Festival again. I'm going to share my screen and put that up, and it's got the link for my album as well. And so that's the registration link, EF21 Climate GKC, Greater Kansas City.org. And if you just put in David Hawken Band Camp, Count Me In, it'll probably come up for the new album. So thank you all so much. And be sure and put stuff in the chat. And really can't thank you enough for tuning in. And I'm going to try to get some more of these scheduled. And hopefully I can do most of them online. Though after, everybody's vaccinated, I might be, taking this on the road on tour. That would be lots of fun. To be able to do the music and talk to people about what's going on and how they can make it more of an impact in their own communities. So thank you so much. Have a great evening. Thank you, Narissa. All right, take care.
Thank you, David. Great job.
Thanks. And thank you, Bob, for all the work you do putting that Earth Festival together.
David, I thought it was 9 o'clock my time and 8 o'clock your time.
No.
Oh shoot!
Man. I try to put Central on whenever I put a time down. It's really tough.
Yeah, I thought it was 8 o'clock Central. I'm so used to adjusting for your time.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you playing a song or two next time we get one of these scheduled.
Gosh, I love that last song. It was wonderful. I wish I put you on my calendar. Oh, damn it.
That's okay. Anyway. You can go to Bandcamp and hear some of these songs. Let me know what you think.
I will. I definitely will.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and the stream there.